I got on the oldies, what they call the oldies circuit, which was a very bizarre circuit, in the early 70s. When the Beatles, when the entire British invasion came, and by that I mean literally there was 10 or 15 British bands that came all at the same time. And the Americans were not even on the charts for about a year and a half. They put all the heroes out of work, They didn't mean to do that, but that's just what happened. And they all ended up on this thing called the oldie circuit. And they were in their like late 30s, early 40s, put out the pasture.
Right.
Everybody in the 50s,
We had somebody on the show who has that story, Neil Sedaka. He was here.
And he said he would meet the new major stars. They would be thrilled to see him, but the public, it's like, who the hell's Neil Sedaka?
Well, and the industry really just completely turned their back on them, which was just a terrible thing, because starting with that generation in the 60s, the audience would grow up with them and stay with them to this day. I mean, who's the biggest act of the 60s is the Stones and Beatles. Who's the biggest act today? The Stones and the Beatles. It wasn't the case with the 50s guys, with the pioneers who invented it, unfortunately. Whatever record you had on the charts by 1964, that's all you're going to have for the rest of your life. So if you were lucky to have, 3 or 4 hits, like a Benny King or,
Sure.
something like that, you could kind of make it work. But if you had like 1 or 2 hits, you would need those 1 or 2 hits the rest of your life.
Who were some of these oldies acts that have been basically put out to pasture when you went on the? Was it the DeVelles you were touring with?
I mean, Little Richard and Chuck Berry and Bo Diddley and Jerry Lee Lewis, the Drifters, the Coasters.
And the Beatles and the Stones worship these guys.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like I said, it was unintentional consequence, but up until the Beatles, every single record had a saxophone solo. They put 1,000 sax players out of work.
It's unbelievable. Unintentionally.
Yeah, I mean, after that, only the Dave Clark Five kept the sax. And that's why it was so radical when Bruce put his saxophone in the band.
Right.
He was making a statement. Like, we're going to have a little respect for the past, as well as looking ahead to the future. We're going to have one hand in the past, one hand in the future. And that was a big move at that time. That was radical. We always felt that way. We always felt like we're part of tradition. And proudly so, So, but I met all my heroes in those days. And
Little Richard wound up officiating your wedding.
yeah, Little Richard was my
What was that like?
wedding.
And didn't you say he basically lied and had never?
Yeah, he never done it.